The story begins with Rachel Wilde crouched inside a car, hands pressed over her ears, while a gunfight rages around her. To understand how she got herself into this position, let me take you several days back. Rachel Wilde is a debt recovery lawyer who operates in the gray, between legal and illegal, moral and immoral, chasing down debts that powerful clients hide through loopholes and shell companies. Her mentor, Braxton, is an old-school debt recovery operator working for a big Wall Street firm called Spencer Goldstein. Braxton is sitting across the table from a billionaire named Manny Salazar, who apparently owes Goldstein a cool $1 billion. And somehow, against all odds, Braxton actually gets this guy to sign the paperwork, agreeing to pay it all back, plus interest. He's thrilled. He calls up Bobby Sheen, the executive at Goldstein, to brag about his achievement. Bobby's impressed, but also a little worried because Braxton's only got one bodyguard with him on this guy's private island. On the drive back to the hotel, Salazar's head of security, a guy named Axel Olsen, tells the driver to pull over near a cliff so Braxton can get a decent phone signal. The second they stop, Olsen just shoots Braxton's bodyguard. Braxton panics, scrambles out of the car, tries to run, and Olsen just lets him run for a bit, like he's toying with him, letting him think he's got a chance, before shooting him too. Olsen picks up the signed contract off Braxton's body, calls Salazar and calmly tells him the deal is void, like the meeting never even happened. With pure delight, he tells Olsen that if Goldstein is stupid enough to send anybody else after him, they'll get the exact same treatment. Cut to New York, Rachel Wilde walks straight into Bobby Sheen's office, more or less uninvited, and makes her pitch. Bobby is initially dismissive. She already knows who Rachel is, and she doesn't like her. Rachel is expensive and sharp-tongued. Bobby asks for her terms. Rachel opens at 20%. Bobby counters at 5%. Back and forth they go, and Rachel finally lands the deal at 10% of whatever she recovers, plus $10 million upfront. Bobby hates it, but agrees anyway. Rachel closes the deal without calling anyone above her, leaving Goldstein impressed. Rachel's strategy is built on two tracks working simultaneously, one legal and one very much not. The not very much part are her two field operators, Sydney and Bronco. She's worked with them for years. They're the only two she trusts to keep her alive. Bronco runs a team that specializes in extraction, intimidation, and sabotage. Sid's team handles corruption, bribery, and covert surveillance. Together, they are her insurance policy and her weapon. That night, Rachel digs into the case. Her first move is to go undercover as a wealthy investor to get a meeting with William Horowitz, Salazar's infamous lawyer. She sits down, plays the part, then drops the mask entirely, and tells him she knows exactly where Salazar's hidden money is buried and she wants to talk. The alternative will be very expensive. Horowitz panics and calls his security guard, Gary, to throw them out. Bronco steps in and gives Gary a very simple choice: stand by the door nicely or get scraped off the walls. Horowitz chooses wisely, but Horowitz still won't play ball. Rachel tells him she is there for the Goldstein debt and wants a full list of Salazar's proxy corporations and shell companies. He refuses and warns her to stay out of deep water. Rachel tells him she knows about all the shell companies and every other endeavor where Salazar hides all his assets. William refuses to collaborate with her and asks them to leave. Rachel says that soon they will have no other option and gives him her card before leaving, threatening to go straight to Salazar himself. Bronco and Baker travel to Salazar's island 1 month in advance to set up a base, gather intelligence, and prepare for what's coming. Sid and Gucci are deployed to Saudi Arabia, where Salazar is building a massive hotel in Jeddah. The hotel has approval to build 130,000 square feet. The real blueprint shows 150,000 square feet, which is illegal. Sid quietly tips off the Saudi authorities about the size discrepancy. The ministry shuts down construction while the paperwork gets reviewed. Salazar starts bleeding $4 million a week in penalties. Horowitz is busy fielding furious phone calls and puts it together that it's Rachel's doing. Sid keeps going. He deliberately crashes his car into a construction superintendent's vehicle and has his partner Gucci pose as a doctor on the scene. They tell the superintendent he needs 6 weeks off to recover. And while they're at it, they slide a stack of bribe money into his car. He counts it, gives them the thumbs up, and agrees to disappear. Shortly after, Horowitz gets another call. The steel for the project has been impounded because the paperwork doesn't match. 20,000 tons of steel sit frozen. 2,000 construction workers sit idle on full pay. Now Salazar's burning $5 million a week on top of that. Penalties are now bleeding Salazar $5 million a week total. Rachel orders a second attack on Salazar's Spanish island. Bronco and Baker go undercover as construction workers, linking up with a local contact named Javier, who will be helping them with everything they need for the mission. But Bronco rejects the obvious approach. He wants forensic sabotage. Baker plants a tiny 25-gram device inside the 200,000-ton oil rig that quietly triggers a failsafe malfunction. When the safety inspectors get an anonymous tip and show up to investigate, the rig gets shut down on the spot. Salazar loses $500,000 every single day. Back on his end, Salazar is furious and is screaming at Horowitz. He's paying $3 million a week for an oil rig that produces nothing. He wants to know who's doing this and what Horowitz is doing to stop it. Horowitz says it's Rachel behind this chaos, backed with an extremely capable team, and will not stop until her demands are met. Salazar asks what if she is not alive anymore. Horowitz tells him that Rachel has already insured herself against physical harm. Unlive her and 20 prepaid lawyers pick up right where she left off. Horowitz also tells him the damage is mounting to around $28 million a month, and the best option is to make a deal with her. His advice is to offer $300 million to Rachel, but Rachel isn't done. Rachel comes to know about Wolfgang, a name that surfaces when Bronco had planted a bug in the Lawyer of the Week award in Horowitz's office during their earlier meeting. The bug catches Horowitz mentioning Wolfgang to Salazar, the one person who really knows where all the money is hidden. Wolfgang Close turns out to be a Harvard-educated German-Arab accountant who orchestrates Salazar's entire financial empire from a fortified office in Jeddah. He bounces money between countries, buries it under layers of shell companies, and makes ownership virtually untraceable. Rachel discovers that Wolfgang has a weakness, his enormous ego and his obsession with backgammon. So Sid goes undercover as a wealthy investor and wangles an invitation to one of Wolfgang's parties. He arrives and starts playing backgammon and winning consistently using loaded dice. By the time Wolfgang himself takes notice, Sid has won over £200,000 and refused every penny of it. That kind of move, refusing money, is irresistible to a man like Wolfgang. He challenges Sid personally. Sid wins again. Then he deliberately loses the next round for $10, claims he doesn't have cash, and promises to send a gift later. A few days later, a statue arrives at Wolfgang's office, one that fits perfectly with his collection. Inside the statue is a hidden device with a camera and a signal-transmitting device. Wolfgang's office normally has a Faraday cage that blocks all wireless signals, but the device gets close enough to the computer that Rachel's hacker, Clover, can access everything from the outside. Clover gets to work. Within days, Rachel has legal traction. She starts filing international attachment orders in court. Salazar's hidden assets begin to surface. Courts approve the applications. His accounts are being frozen one by one. Horowitz calls Rachel and offers her $300 million, but she refuses it. She says that she wants to meet Salazar in person and cuts the call. Rachel calls the team and predicts that the meeting will be held on Salazar's island. Bronco reveals that the team is ready with full preparation. Baker, an explosives expert, Moreno, the wheelman, Dunn, the aviation specialist, and Gucci, the tech operator, have been on the island for a month preparing. They've set up a safe house in the most remote part of the island near 3 separate extraction routes. Javier has arranged for various explosives and guns. They also have cars, bikes, drones, and even a helicopter. The team maps all 3 extraction corridors, but Bronco warns that Salazar commands 50 private soldiers and owns the local police. Bronco splits the team to wreck every route under live conditions. Route 1, East Evac, driving through the city through the storm drains to waiting boats. Cars are slower, so Bronco and Moreno test the route on motorcycles and get chased by police for speeding. He guns his bike through the storm drain. The cop refuses to follow him into the drop. Bronco is impressed, but he points out the bike route fails if Rachel is incapacitated. So they'll need an ambulance, an ATV, and a rib instead. Route 2, North Evac, the fastest option. 2 gyrocopters are waiting at an airfield north of the island. Salazar controls the skies and has blocked commercial flights, but gyrocopters fly low enough to go undetected. The team rehearses, launching them from the hangar in under 3 minutes. Route 3 West Evac, the last resort. If the other routes fail, they fall back to the safe house, go through a tunnel on foot, and eventually reach a massive 300-foot ravine. Bronco has set up a zip line across it. On the other side, hidden ATVs wait to take them to the harbor. He also builds what the team starts calling the banana pie, a concealed trapdoor dug into the road that can swallow pursuing vehicles whole. For the next several days, the team runs every route over and over, tightening their times and looking for anything they might have missed. They train with weapons on bikes and against moving targets. For emergencies, they bury landmines across key roads. Bronco then identifies the one window where Rachel is exposed, the transit between the hotel and the villa. He orders Gucci to fly the drone, and every other team member to stay invisible, outnumbered 10-1 on unknown ground. Bronco demands they rehearse until every route belongs to them. They also need ears inside Salazar's penthouse before he spots the team on his island. So Sydney and Rachel pose as a couple and walk into the lobby. Bronco fakes a heart attack in the hotel lobby to distract the manager and steal a skeleton key. Gucci cuts out the cameras, and the duo reaches the room. They soon bug the entire room and check the exits. Bronco says that it's time for them to go for the cops. Moreno puts engine brakers on the cops' cars. Sid and Bronco are out in a market where they notice a bunch of cops. Sid drinks some alcohol and drenches himself in it. He then goes around creating a ruckus and then pisses on a cop's shoe, making them arrest him immediately. The team also needs to know the local prison layout just in case. By the time he's released, he's clocked every camera angle, counted the officers, and noted what weapons they've got. Back at the safe house while they're finishing their plans, Sid spots Olsen watching them from a distance. The two men exchange a long look, then trade insults through gestures. Once everything's set, Rachel goes back to court and gets approval to seize Salazar's personal assets. His private jet gets impounded under international law. His boat goes under maritime law. Furious Salazar calls Horowitz, who is standing on a runway after being told he can't board his own jet. Salazar tells Horowitz to set up a meeting on his island. When Rachel arrives on the island, Sid picks her up and hands her a watch with a panic button built in. Press it, and the team comes running. Rachel recalls the time she broke Bronco and Sid out of a prison in Chiang Mai. Rachel soon notices that they are being followed, but Sid says that there's nothing to worry about. She soon arrives at the base and meets with the rest of the team. Salazar also reaches his hotel for the meeting. Gucci monitors everything through the bugs, though the signal keeps cutting in and out. Rachel walks into the meeting with Bronco and Sid flanking her as bodyguards. The trio arrives at the penthouse and is soon joined by Salazar. William offers her $350 million, but she flat out refuses it. Salazar offers her $400 million and says that it's final. He says that she crossed the line by hijacking his boat and plane. Those were his personal belongings, and they should have just stuck with him with business. Rachel says that she is making it easier just by asking for money that he took. She isn't even calculating the interest or surge charges. Salazar says that she has reached her limits and will not be able to do more damage to him. He asks her to take the deal and leave. Rachel walks out of the meeting without settling the debt. She tells the guys who do not have any more leverage. She says that she wants to have a beer and stops at a joint nearby. Bronco says that he had already booked a table for her. Gucci gets the drone in the air, and the rest of the team is nearby to keep a close eye on them. Gucci notices that a lot of men are coming towards the cafe. That's when Gucci's drone picks up a convoy of vehicles closing in on the cafe. Two men walk in and take a table at the back. Two more slide up to the bar. Another two post up outside. Baker and the other guys also cover the bar from everywhere. Sid leaves the car and enters through the back door. More operatives flood in from every direction, totaling 14 hostiles. Bronco makes eye contact with the guys at the back table. The waiter sees what's happening and bolts. Bronco shoots both men before they can move. In the kitchen, Sid takes out another one. Baker handles the guy at the bar, and Bronco walks Rachel straight out. A fight breaks out outside as well, but Rachel's men take them out swiftly. Bronco clears out the exit, and Rachel is evacuated from the bar and taken to the car. The team scatters into different vehicles and drives away clean. Not one of them's got a scratch. Olsen gets the news that all 14 of their men are down. William had no idea about this attack and says that Salazar just got into her trap. Salazar orders Wolfgang onto the phone immediately. He orders them to start moving assets. Glover sees it happening in real time and tells Rachel. Rachel orders Glover to link every asset to Salazar's name, connect them to his businesses, and shut them all down. They get access to all his information and start cutting off their revenue model. Rachel tells the boys that the ball is in her court and her lawyers are going to bleed him dry. Salazar's biggest companies get seized one after another. Skyelk Chemical Manufacturing, worth $1 billion in turnover, is frozen and seized. Primostar Telecom, with $800 million in assets, loses its funding. Archon Digital startup with $385 million in cash reserves is frozen. Sensing a breach in their system, Salazar's men do a proper sweep of Wolfgang's office and find Bronco's bug, but it's too late by then. Salazar is impressed by her tenacity. Another meeting is called. She returns to the penthouse. He offers $800 million and will return all of his assets. She doesn't want $800 million, she wants the full billion. She lays out her final threat. She has no more secrets to uncover, but she can share the location of every financial corpse he's ever buried with every investor he's ever wronged. They won't come for $1 billion, they'll come for $5 billion. After hearing her, Salazar agrees to pay the full amount, but asks for all his possessions back. He turns on Horowitz, his own lawyer and head of security. He says that it was Horowitz's duty to never let this happen in the first place, and fires him. Bobby gets a call from Rachel, and she says that the job is done, but they need to return Salazar's boat and plane to him the moment they receive the money, and Bobby agrees to it. 3 months have passed since the events. Rachel is in Saudi Arabia, as she still hasn't received her payment from Goldstein. A car appears on the horizon. Rachel calls her guard but no answer. She goes to find him and he's lying dead in the sand. She rushes back to the tent. Her assistant is dead too. Soon, Salazar's men get there to kidnap her, but she presses the button in her watch before getting in the car. That night, Bronco and Sid break into Bobby's office. She is shocked to see them and threatens to call the security, but they say that it's of no help. He says that Salazar has kidnapped Rachel, and it's all because of her. She says that she has to deal with many complicated procedures to release everything. Once that's done, Salazar will have everything, and Rachel will get paid. Bronco is shocked to know that she hasn't been paid. Sid threatens her to pay the debts, or he will take care of her. In the prison, Salazar visits Rachel. He wants to know why his plane and his yacht haven't been returned by Goldstein. She says that she still hasn't been paid, and they have backstabbed her as well. Salazar believes that if he keeps Rachel hostage, they will be forced to release his assets, but Rachel says that Goldstein has no value for her. He says that if they do not pay back, he will send Rachel's chopped pieces to their offices. It's his island and his laws, and no one is coming to save her. What Salazar doesn't know is Rachel's team has already reached the island. They have reset their original plan and will rescue her. Javier says that Salazar has tripled the security, but they are ready for the fight. Bronco and Sid drive the police car straight to the station dressed as officers. Nobody stops them. They slip into the weapons storage, corner a cop, cuff him, and take what they need. Then they move through the cell block, taking out the guards one by one, and pass the keys to Rachel so she can let herself out. While she stays out of sight, the two of them walk into the main office and make every officer in the room surrender at gunpoint. Then 5 more cops walk in and go for their weapons. Bronco and Sid don't hesitate. By the time it's over, more cars are surrounding the building outside. Baker blows a hole through the back wall, and Rachel, Sid, and Bronco get out through it. They get in their car and drive away. Olsen tells Salazar that Rachel has escaped and he is asked to stop them immediately. The chase gets even more intense. Sid triggers the landmines buried in the road. The pursuing vehicles get swallowed by the explosions and can't follow. Sid drives tactfully, saving them from enemy fire. One of the men takes out a drone with a grenade attached to it. They reach the gyrocopter, but the grenade falls on the warehouse, destroying everything and killing Dunn as well. A fight breaks out, but they manage to gun down the enemies. Bronco says that now they only have the west evac to exit. They soon start their journey with an entire army behind them. They soon get inside the banana plantation, but the bikers come from behind and start shooting them. Bronco gets out and tries to open the pit but gets stuck. But in the last moment, the pit opens, causing one of the cars to fall inside it. They then get down and shoot the rest of the men and leave from there. Olsen gets the news, but he still has more than 70 men to take care of them. They reach the safe house and the team gets into position. Gucci takes out his drone to track down the army. They then set out the traps and start to shoot the men down. While the shooting continues, Baker sets the explosives and opens the tunnel hatch. The army has surrounded them from everywhere. Bronco and Sid take Rachel through the tunnel, but Baker stays behind. He moves through the ruined safe house, gas grenade in hand, picking off anyone who enters. Bronco keeps calling through the earpiece, telling him to come to the tunnel. The place is soon swarmed by the men as Baker keeps on fighting them. Baker asks Bronco to save Rachel and detonates the grenades, causing the entire villa to explode. Bronco rallies Rachel and Sid toward the extraction point. All of them reach the zipline. Rachel gets ready to go to the other side, and Sid keeps on shooting the men. All of them manage to reach the other end and get inside their vehicle. They drive off thinking that they are finally safe, but Olsen appears there in a copter. He starts to shoot at them as Sid drives tactfully, saving them. They are forced into a building for cover, and Bronco takes out a rocket launcher. Olsen's copter comes in frame and he blows it up. They then get to the boat and ask Gucci and Moreno to take Rachel back. They have some business left and will take care of it. They slip into Salazar's house dressed as paramedics, and when Salazar walks in, Bronco puts him under with a sedative. They strap him to a stretcher, wheel him out like a patient, load him into the ambulance, and drive. To get through the city, they wrap him in plastic and strap him to an ATV that rides through the storm drain. A ship's waiting near the shore. Sometime later, authorities in Miami open a shipping container and find Salazar inside. One fine morning, Rachel shows up at Bobby's office. She says that she just had a meeting with her boss and got paid. She says that her boss isn't happy as the Salazar debacle has gone out of hand. Bobby says that he is nowhere to be found, so she doesn't give a care. Rachel tells her she crossed the line, she got greedy, and made a mess of a simple, straightforward deal. Rachel explains what happens next. Salazar, now in federal custody in Miami, will testify against Spencer Goldstein for funding a criminal organization. Spencer Goldstein is going to be exposed. And the one who takes the fall, the name on the contracts, the face of the operation, is Bobby Sheen. If the phone rings in her room, then she will become the one to be buried for this mess. Rachel leaves the office, and soon after, the phone rings.